time for Nerdgasm.
Hey, what's up guys? Jerry here, aka Barnacules, coming at you today with another Barna vlog. Now I know it's been a while since I've done one of these and you guys have been requesting them, and I want to bring you up to speed with everything that's going on in my life, but it's just I've been so busy and kind of on this emotional roller coaster lately, and now I've finally kind of settled and plateaued a little so I can come at you guys with some information. First and foremost, I want to talk about the thing I am most excited about, and that is I finally have gotten serious about weight loss. Now I know you guys have seen some of my videos in the past, like the fat and depressed video and stuff where I said enough is enough and I wanted to lose the weight, and then I ended up losing a little and then gaining a bunch back, and it was horrible. It was really just like ripping me apart inside. My confidence level was really low. The trolling on the internet was getting to me when it didn't before as much. It always gets to me a little bit, but it was just getting a little out of control. And I've noticed things like I just haven't been sleeping well, having massive joint pain, basically, long story short, I realize now I'm fat. I'm not proud of being fat. I'm not proud of being obese. I want to lose the weight this time, and I want to do it so that I can be around for my son, and I want to do it for myself so that I can be active. I don't snowboard anymore. I was only going mountain biking a couple of times, here and there, and then I would just be like, nah, I don't feel like biking. But the truth is, I didn't want to do it because every time I do it, it reminds me of just how out of shape I've become. Now, back when I worked at Microsoft, throughout my entire 15-year career, I fluctuated between about 215 pounds and 245 pounds. That was kind of the area that I was in throughout my whole 15-year career, and I could handle that just fine. I was able to do everything that I wanted to love with absolutely no problems, so I was a proud fat man. Well, unfortunately now I'm 36 years old. I live a sedentary life because I work for myself, and most of my day I spend in this room trying to make videos and trying to get things squared away and dealing with all this chaos, and sometimes I won't even leave my house for like 5 days. So that gives you an idea of like how little exercise I'm getting. And then that whole time, whenever I'm feeling depressed or whenever things aren't going the way that I want them to, I go to the fridge and I stuff my face. And that's the God's honest truth right there. I'm just kind of throwing it out there for you guys. Food is like a drug. Whenever I feel bad, I go and take more of the drug, which is the food, and it makes me feel better. And then in the long run, it's killing me. So my wife also has had a problem. She put on quite a bit of weight herself over the last 2 years since I left Microsoft, and also having a son, Xander, who's 6 years old now, has, with his needs and everything that he has with the autism stuff and the therapy that he's had to go to, my wife has also lived kind of a sedentary life alongside me. So we're changing all that. You might notice that I'm wearing a shirt right now that says obese to beast, and the obese is slashed out. And that's because I finally reached out for help. I've come to the conclusion that I can't do this by myself. I've tried the diets, I've tried the exercise, I've tried going to the gym, I've tried hiring a personal trainer when I'm at the gym, but he's not with me when I need him when I'm at home. So I finally reached out to somebody who's done exactly what I wanted to do. He's somebody that was 360 pounds and then lost all that weight and actually became a bodybuilder. And that's Mr. John Glaude, otherwise known as Obese to Beast on the internet. This guy is a freaking sensation. He is the motivating force behind me knowing that I can lose the weight. Every time I try to lose weight, I do some extreme thing. I cut everything I love out of my diet, or I go to the gym and I work out too hard and I hurt myself. But long story short, I always end up screwing up the diet and falling off the bandwagon. So luckily, John stepped in and had a Skype call with both me and my wife, Miss Barnacules, and we sat down with him for what seemed like about an hour and a half or 2 hours. And he told us all about his life story and the things he did that worked and the things that he didn't do. And he made it clear to us that everybody's different. When everybody comes at me and suggests these diets, like, oh, you got to cut all fats out. No, you just have to take out glucose and not have any sugar, and then you can eat as much as you want. All these different diets people throw at me, I want to try them, but half the time when I've tried them in the past, they've always left in failure because I'll stick to the diet for a certain amount of time, then my cravings overwhelm me and I lose out. So John was adamant about me finding something I could live with that would allow me to lose the weight slowly and not have such a dramatic impact. So what we decided on is we went out and calculated basically our caloric burn for the day, and I'll have some information down in the video description. But I basically took my weight and my activity and put them in there, and I had to be really truthful. That's the thing John told me, is I have to be truthful on everything. So I put in sedentary, lowest of everything, not doing much. And I apologize if I'm sweating, guys. I turn off the AC to shoot these videos so you guys don't hear that in the background, and the temperature in the room with all the electronics in here goes up to about 100 degrees. For me, that's tropical. So anyways, John told us to find a way to live something that we could live with, something that could be a lifestyle change that would go on for the rest of our lives, not looking at it as a diet that's something to lose the weight and then we just go back to our old ways. And he actually made a really, really good point, and that is, don't complicate things. Don't look at, everything like your macros and stuff like that to start out with. Don't look at the nutritional value of things to start out with. Just cut the calories. So what we did is we took 500 calories a day out of what our resting metabolism should burn. And I can use those calories for anything. If I want to wake up and not eat breakfast, not eat lunch, and have a freaking large pizza for dinner, I can. So I can still have absolutely anything that I want, but it just has to be within that calorie allowance, which for me is about 1,930 calories. Last I checked it. So I've been doing that now for about 7 days, and I've gone from 310 down to 295 so far. And now the weight loss is starting to slow down. He also said that the weight loss would be rapid in the beginning, and then it would plateau, and then it would be over time. But my goal is to lose about 1 to 2 pounds a week, so nothing super dramatic. But I'm going to do that over the course of a year. And the nice thing is I can still eat anything I want. I'm not drinking any more calories, so I'm just sticking to coffee, tea, and water. Because I went and did some estimations, and it turns out that like over half of my caloric intake was just drinking sugary beverages and things like that, and even like stuff like juice and coffee drinks at Starbucks with milk in them and stuff like that. So I've cut all that out, and I have to tell you that after 7 days, I feel great. I'm sleeping a lot better. And I'm a lot happier knowing that this is something I can do. Every other diet that I do, I have a bad mood, I get pissy, my wife doesn't want to be around me, and it turns into a nightmare. But the thing that makes this diet so successful for me, and again, I'm going to refer to it as diet accidentally, I mean lifestyle change, but what makes this work is I can still have whatever I want. I can budget and save up for whatever I want to eat. If I have a craving and I want to stuff my face with cake one day, I can do it. I just have to plan for it and save the calories so that my overall caloric intake stays at that 500 a day deficit. And he said that that can be adjusted. We can do less, we can do more, whatever makes me happy. But he said that in the end, if you're not happy with the diet that you're on and you're constantly frustrated and having cravings, it's not going to work long term. So another thing that has helped me on this tremendously is this is the first time that my wife has made the change with me. We computed her caloric intake, and she's doing the exact same thing as me every day. So she's staying within her calorie boundary. I'm staying within mine. We're both planning together and saying, oh, listen, for dinner, we want to have a burrito at our favorite Mexican restaurant. And that burrito might be like, 900 or 1,200 calories. So we both save up for the day and we coordinate, and then we have that dinner together. And it's fantastic. It's worked. I'm not feeling like I have huge cravings. I do have times where I feel hungry, but I get to decide if I want to be hungry or not. If I want to go eat a banana or go make myself a big lunch or a big snack, I can do that, but it's just going to take away from my dinner. And I treat the calories like they're money. I only have so much budget every day, and when that budget is spent, there's no more food. So if I run that budget out by noon with a big breakfast and a big lunch, then no dinner for me. I go to sleep hungry. I know that sounds horrible, and a lot of nutritionists out there are going to say that's the wrong thing to do, but so far it's working for me. And this is the first time that I've been on something in a long time that's actually working. I'm happy. My wife's happy. Normally by day 7, I would be pissy as hell. I'd be going to the gym and just mad dogging the wall the whole time that I'm on the elliptical glider. But the nice thing is, this diet works for me because I don't have to worry about the exercise component. Any exercise that I do is just additional weight loss. The focus is on the caloric intake. And we compute it methodically using an app called MyFitnessPal on iPhone, and my wife and I both go in there, and anytime you put something in your mouth, you go compute the calories. If you don't know what the calories are for it, then you go and find out on the internet, and you go weigh your food. We even got a food scale so that we're weighing everything that goes in, because trust me, the estimates are completely wrong. Like last night we had popcorn, and we did the estimate on the scale, and I thought that there was nearly 3 times as much popcorn in an ounce as there actually was when we weighed it. So you do definitely want to weigh your food. And one thing that I'm noticing is now that I have to pick my foods based on their caloric intake and how many calories I have left and how many times I want to eat throughout the day, I'm finding that I'm making smarter decisions. Case in point, last night I saved up enough calories to eat a cupcake for dessert. There was a cupcake in the house. My neighbor brought me a cupcake. So I was going to eat this cupcake, but then I thought to myself, I was like, well, I could have this one little cupcake, or I could have a cup full of grapes and strawberries, and then I could still have buttery popcorn before I went to bed, like with a movie. I was like, well, I'd way rather have the cup of fruit and the buttery popcorn than this one tiny little thing. So it changed my decision. Whereas normally, if I was doing a conventional diet, it would just be like, no, you can't have the cupcake. And then I'd want that cupcake because I'm like, I know I can't have that cupcake. I want that cupcake.
Give me the damn cupcake.
But since it's my decision, it's not like that at all. And that changed everything for me. So I want to give a huge shout out to Mr. John, Obese to Beast. I'll have all his information linked below. The guy has been an absolute gem. Every one of my questions, I just SMS him on my phone and he replies instantaneously. He's been a huge help for helping me find foods that'll help me keep fuller longer, like case in point, the oatmeal and peanut butter mixture, stuff like that, to make it so you don't feel hungry immediately. Because I find eating things like fruit and stuff like that, you generally get hungry right after eating it. So you definitely want to pair the fruit and stuff with other things that you like. But the bottom line is I don't have a diet that limits. It's not like Atkins where I can only have cheese and meat. It's not like paleo where I can only have things that, I go out and kill with a rock and strip the meat off of and eat raw.
I know that's not what the diet is.
But you get my point. I'm not following any specific nutritional diet. I'm literally just bringing it down to the simplest common denominator, which is the amount of calories going into me and the amount of calories my body's burning and ultimately coming out my backside. And I have to say, so far, it's working. My weight every day when I weigh in is heading down. Now, I've woken up certain days where I've gained back a pound, but then the next day I go down 2 pounds. And John said this is completely normal. If you weigh yourself daily, you can't fixate on that number because it's all about average over time. But the bottom line is when I started, I was 310 and now I'm 295. And it's only been about 2 weeks since I started eating better and only about a week since I started doing what John told us to do. But I'm totally stoked. I'm totally happy. I can't wait to see myself in a year. I'm going to stick with this time, guys. There's no reason not to. Because if I want to go eat a big greasy burger, it's killing me, I can do that. I might have to suffer a little bit that day by not having a breakfast or a lunch, but I can do it. I can go and have that food. And for me, that's what works. That might not work for you, but for me, that's what works. And it's working for both me and my wife. And we're so happy right now. And the cool thing is, whenever I was on a diet before, I'd see my son eating his Doritos and stuff, because we have to give our son's underweight. I know it's weird that 2 overweight people made an underweight person. It defies logic. But anyways, we feed him high calorie foods because we're trying to get him to gain weight. Well, when he's eating those, whenever I'm on a diet, all I want to do is reach over and grab something out of his bowl and nibble on it, whether it be one of the chocolate cookies or whether it be a Dorito or something like that. And I want to just stuff it in my mouth and eat it. And now I haven't had those urges, which is funny. After 7 days, I haven't had any urges because the few times that I did have an urge, I immediately saved up the calorie, went and satisfied that urge, and then I was like, well, I can have that food, so I'm not worried about it. So, of course, I went out to John's website and picked up a couple of his shirts just as inspiration because I want to put these on when I take my photos. Now, I'm going to show you guys something that might be a little bit disturbing. If you guys out there are sensitive to fat people, I am about to show you a picture. My very first picture I took of myself literally just wearing underwear so that I can use this as my comparative reference as I continue to lose weight. And I plan to take another picture every week for a year and then show the progress. That's what I want to do. This is a huge commitment for me. I'm going to do it this time. I don't want to let you guys down. I don't want to let John down, and I don't want to let my family down. That includes my wife and my son. And now that my wife's along for the ride with me, we're both telling each other to make better decisions, and we're working together to make better decisions. Whereas before, one of us was always eating whatever they wanted, while the other person was just sitting there watching, and it just wasn't working. All right, as you can see in these pictures, I'm pretty pudgy. A lot of people seem to think that I look quite a bit thinner with clothes on, but you can definitely see I have a massive gut in this photo, and I have a lot of fat all over the place, but it's mostly concentrated in my gut, and I hope to reduce that over time and see the difference, because I think seeing the difference is ultimately going to lead to huge motivation to keep going. And I see that in a lot of other people's journeys that I've been monitoring, including John's, where you see over time the changes. And when you see those changes over time, you start to realize it, because when you're in your own skin, you don't necessarily notice it. You feel better, you're sleeping better, but you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, I don't really notice it, because you adapt to it as you go, because you see yourself all the time. Being able to see a picture that's old changes your entire perception. So I'm hoping that that works for me, and I'll keep you guys updated on all of this as we go through. I haven't decided if I want to do a bi-weekly or a monthly video, just that's an updated Barna vlog on my progress, but we'll figure something out, but you guys will see this moving forward. This also means when you watch my Instagram, you're going to see me posting pictures of food. Some of this is going to be healthy food. Some of it's going to be garbage food. But at the end of the day, any of the pictures that I post won't add up to any more than 1,930 calories a day. And that deficit's actually going to start dropping as I lose weight because my caloric intake will drop. So it's kind of this constant battle. But the nice thing is I'm starting out with a fairly high caloric intake instead of dropping it down to like 1,000 or 700. So I have a lot of room to move the needle around as I need to keep the weight loss going. All right, guys, I want to tell you about one other big change in my life, and that is I finally got a pair of kittens right here. These two little girls right here, litter mates, and they are the sweetest cats I've ever owned. They are so mellow. They just purr. They just love to love and kiss on you. You can do anything you want with them. They're super, super duper chill, and I love them. We haven't given them names yet because we tried giving them names in the beginning, and the names didn't really fit their personalities, so we're letting their personalities come out as they get more comfortable here. And then I'm going to go ahead and give them their final names. But they're absolutely sweet. This one right here is completely just hyperactive as heck and crazy. I know it's not really displayed right now. And this is the mellow one that bosses the other one around. So it's clear this is the dominant one. But they are both amazingly sweet. We love them. They are just cuddle monsters. They want attention all the time. And I love it. And I will tell you right now, if you're going on any kind of journey out of depression, get yourself an animal. A dog, a cat, a hamster, whatever. It doesn't matter. Get yourself an animal because it definitely improves your mood, and improving your mood makes everything else easier. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this Barna vlog. If you guys want to see more of the kittens or more about the weight loss journey, let me know down in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. It helps me out a lot and lets me know what content that you guys like. I have more 3D printing stuff coming shortly, including a toilet paper holder that's actually pretty cool. And I've also got some other stuff coming down the pipe. I don't want to talk about it too much right now because some of it's a little bit secret. But it's going to be fun, guys. Hang around. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And let's have some fun together. But anyways, you're going to see me slowly shrinking over the next year. Otherwise, you guys can all spam "I told you so" down in the comments. All right, take it easy. And until next time, say bye-bye. 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 They're seriously chill. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please take a moment and subscribe to my channel. It helps me a lot. Also, come over to Twitter. I'm at Barnacules. I'm a real social guy. Also, if you have a couple of minutes, check out some of these many other videos. I made them myself.